So
Sure.
they're
Okay.
able to focus on a conversation.
Got it.
You
Got
don't
it.
have to use AI for a conversation.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
AI has its place. I love artificial intelligence. I deal with it every day. But having a conversation with a human being on a specific topic without using artificial intelligence or without using any form of other device, which that's what we're doing now,
Yeah.
is way more valuable to a person. I would, and I tell that to my clients sometimes. How about you have when's the last time you had a conversation with your kids at the table? No phones, no nothing, no TV, no
Just talking.
distraction. And again, sometimes we don't think about it.
Yeah.
We have a podcast and we have 5 screens on the side.
Yeah. What
My
do you
phone right now is turned off.
Yeah.
Why? Because my attention is with Coach
You're being
Randy.
present. You are in the present.
Correct. I
Yeah.
am thinking about this interview.
Time out. Time out. Let me ask you this. What if the gap between where you are today and where you want to be isn't talent? It's how you're training when no one's watching. That's what this studio podcast is all about. We don't chase motivation. We don't hype potential. We build identity through habits, standards, and systems. This is where student athletes, parents, coaches, and leaders come to sharpen how they think, prepare, and perform. I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast. What if I told you the hardest part of elite performance isn't the race? It's who you become after it. Family, welcome to the Built Different Studio Podcast. This is where we don't just talk about success, we train it. Mindset, system, structure, identity. And today, we're stepping into a different level of conversation because high performance is loud. Preparation, that's quiet. Today's guest is one of only 3 humans on the planet to complete the EpicDeca, 10 Ironman-distance triathlons in 10 consecutive days. But that's just the surface. JD Tremblay brings military discipline, biomedical engineering precision, naturopathic performance science, and ultra endurance grit. Isn't it interesting how you can train your body for years, but never train your mind for who you'll be when it's over? But that's what today is about. Identity beyond the jersey, preparation beyond the season, leadership beyond the spotlight. Family, help me welcome JD Tremblay. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Be on the show. Thank you, Coach Randy, for the invitation.
Yeah, JD, man, we're excited to have you here today. Before we get into the EpicDeca, the military, the engineering, I want you to start with you, not your resume, not the accomplishments, you. Tell us a little bit, your roots, the defining moments that built you, because every champion has a beginning, and I want to hear yours.
Yeah, I grew up in the northern part of Quebec, Canada, French province, and even in my town, very small town, not a lot of people even get out of that province. And they travel, but only for a few weeks down in Mexico. And even my grandfather never came out of my town in all of his life. So this is the type of region I grew up in. And when I was 17 years old, I joined the military. So I worked for the Department of National Defense for over a decade.
10 years. Wow. Okay. That's a long time.
Yeah, I was a child. We traveled a lot. And to me, it was an exciting experience that brought some new challenges. At the time, I thought all of the training was physical. I never thought that my skill could transfer from the military to the civilian. Because they don't train you to go out of the military. They train you to have a career military. And when I came out, I thought that I was useless. And I joined engineering. I became an integrated engineer. And
what does that mean? Explain that to me. Integrated engineer. I hear, electrical engineering, biomedical engineering. mechanical engineering. What does an integrated engineering mean?
Integrated engineering, there's less than 10 university that offers this program. Less than 100 people in the world would graduate from this program. It's all the program, so it's integrating all of the engineering field into one program, which you can now specialize into one specific field, and it's to
Okay.
bridge the differences between the engineering component to the business side of a company.
Got it. Got it.
And I decided that biomedical engineering was definitely the way to go. I wanted to learn more about the human body and the human performance.
Okay.
Became a naturopathic practitioner through a private school. And
what does that mean? Share that with our audience member. What does a naturopathic practitioner mean?
A naturopathic practitioner is a person that would use natural remedies such as vitamins and minerals to heal the body and provide.
Okay. No, you got to give me some tips. I'm always gassy. I got a lot of gas every day, so you got to after the show, we got to talk about some tips to help me with my gas.
Definitely, that's if it's a gastrointestinal issue and sometimes a blockage somewhere else. So definitely,
Oh,
we'll have
okay.
a
Okay.
chat after for sure. And because the current medicine today is helping, it has its place, and they are the one diagnosing all of the patients. But naturopathic practitioner is more of a preparing you if you get injured, or very often, and I see this with elite athletes sometimes, the mind, that's what I discovered with my ultra endurance, the mind can push your body beyond its limit.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Only for a momentarily, only for a moment. That's it.
Oh, okay. So it's not sustainable. It's not for a long period of time.
Because the body starts breaking down.
Mm.
So if you have the structure in place that is preparing you,
yeah,
then you have less chances. I'm not saying you will not, but you have less chances of having a huge crash. And that's what happened with a lot of athletes. They push their body, and then they have to resort to the medical field, get some treatments, and then they have to stop their beloved sports. And it's not just their beloved sports as in you're stopping physically, it's the mental side to it too. When you take away sports from an athlete, you're removing life. These athletes are dead inside, because now this is their entire life. They wake up in the morning.
For sure. That's all they know. That's all they know.
They know, exactly. So it's a preemptive sort of treatment in a sense.
Okay, I like
that.
I like that.
Treatment as in medicine. I'm not a doctor. I am not diagnosing anybody. I am using vitamins and minerals, and I'm using the body and how it can apply to, such as I tell people about the basics, because it all comes down to the basics. That's what it is. So I use the acronym SWIM for a lot of the people, right? But then again, this is just the basic, and many people forget the basic, which the acronym SWIM, which stands for sleep, which is the
water. Is W water? W water
is the second one. Yeah, exactly. The I is for intake.
Intake.
Right? Intake. So what are you fueling your body with? I had people doing ultra endurance event and
eating hamburgers.
They would pass by a gas station and tell their crew, okay, go get me some burgers or some hot dogs from a local gas station. And although that type of food has its place in society, for an ultra endurance athlete, it might not be the right type of fuel if you want to achieve peak performance. And then
no, I got to tell you, I was just thinking about this the other day. I was eating pizza, and pizza's supposedly bad for you, but I'm thinking, okay, bread, you got the bread group, you got the cheese group, you got the meat group, there's and I had some veggies on there, so you have the vegetable group. I mean, pizza in a sense, it doesn't qualify as good intake? No.
Pizza, in a sense, the way that you could look at it is break it down into macros.
Okay.
So you're having your carbs, and the carb intake is really high. So if you are on a high carb intake, sort of, because I'm talking to elite athletes, or I'm talking to even I'm talking to athletes, okay? Because I'm talking to athletes, if you're on a high carb intake, which generally speaking, it's right before an event, then eating pizza would not be a bad intake.
Okay, got it.
Why? Is because carbs is a source of energy that is quickly deployed
and
used by your body.
Yeah.
So if you want
turns into sugar
energy,
real fast. Yeah.
Exactly. Pizza would be the way to
Okay.
go.
Okay.
It's the craving part, and that's the mental side of things.
Is that what the M stands in swim? Mental or mindset?
Movement.
Okay. So yeah, I like that too. You got to move. You got to be.
And you got to move to your level.
Okay.
So for me, moving, if I go for just a walk, that's not my workout.
Yeah.
My workout consists of, I just ran for an hour. Before this podcast, I just ran for an hour. I have another hour and a half of cycling to do.
Okay. So your movement is next level movement.
Exactly. So compare yourself to what you are doing, right? What is your type of movement?
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
JD, I want to get to being one of the only 3 people worldwide to complete the EpicDeca isn't just a physical accomplishment. It's psychological warfare. What did those 10 days reveal to you about identity and mental resilience? And how can young athletes start building that level of internal toughness now before adversity forces it out of them?
Okay, so I'm going to try to use it as an angle, because there's certain things I've talked on other podcasts. There's one thing I haven't talked about yet in all the podcasts that I've done. One guy, after the second day, we went to the second island, and because we did 2 Ironman on the first one, and then we flew to the next island. And we get to the next island, and this guy is really angry, and he throws his equipment, and then all the organizers, everybody, don't know how to react. So I sat with this person. It was another he was another person that finished.
Okay.
And
how many people started?
We were 10 registered. We could only take 10. The 6 were on the start line, and 3 finished. So 3 dropped in between.
Okay, got it.
And that person, I sat down with him, and he started yelling at his team, and it's very difficult to know how you will react to a dangerous situation until you are faced with these difficult situations. So he started yelling at his team, and I told him, I said, the way I approach it is, I set my values before even my goals. And
you need to say that. You need to say that one more time. We got to put that on a t-shirt. Set your values before your goals.
Yeah, we need to set values before goals. And for him, it was goals before values. So for him, the goal, and I'll share it with a concrete example. So for him, goals were above. So for him, it was the championship. For him, it was
the end goal.
Was winning.
Yeah.
He wanted to win the EpicDeca. For him, it was the competition of him.
Okay.
And very often you lose your identity in between that. You lose your family, because we look at people like Tom Brady. We see it's a very famous idea. He lost his marriage.
Yeah.
Why? Because he put his goal above his family. His family should have been part of his value system.
That value system is family is everything, right? Family is everything. He wouldn't have lost his one. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not at the level of Tom Brady, and I know I coached athletes that are at the Olympic level, and I know what it takes to be at that level. But if you want to be the GOAT of football, or the greatest of all time, or I'm sure I'm going to start a debate on the podcast whether or not he's the GOAT.
No, all good. I know
he's a very famous football
for
player,
sure.
And Tom Brady is known for having so many rings, but out of gaining these rings, he lost one. he lost his marriage. So he lost one ring because his value system was different than his goal, or in contradiction to it. So for this guy, so if I circle back to this guy, he put the EpicDeca, and for him it was finishing on time, being the best. And I remember his crew made him circle one extra loop, and it was an extra hour of cycling. And when you're starting a large event like 1,406 miles of swimming, biking, and running throughout the entire islands of Hawaii, you don't want to start doing an extra lap or an extra cycling. So for him, he got to be angry at his team. He did not see that. And that's why I sat with him. I said, what will happen after the race? Like after the race, you're going to be with your mother. And because his mother was part of his crew, I said, you're going to be with your mother. You don't want to destroy that relationship. Or maybe you do at the cost of your goal. Maybe you want to destroy your relationship at the cost of your goal. So again, I set my values before. Mine were about I'm a Christian, so I'm a Christian man.
Amen.
And I read the Bible, and to me there is a hierarchy, and this is the way I must perform. And that doesn't mean that I don't have outbursts of anger.
Sure. But one of your values that you have is believing in Christ.
And I had to apologize to my team at some point. I got really angry on day 4. On day 4, I started. There was the moment where the event organizer, they were saying that I did something that I didn't do, and they did not want to hear my say into the event. And they just said, you got to take it. If you do it again, you're out of the race. And I said, like, I knew I did not do it. I knew I was not guilty, but I could not explain myself. And so I went into the room, I explained it in my book, and I started punching the wall, throwing chairs, and and I said, okay, there you go. Now I went to have a cold shower. I came out of the shower, apologize. Sorry, team. Everybody's good. Nobody's injured. Let's just go. Okay.
No, that's real leadership there. No, for sure.
Yeah, they understood that the anger had to come out. Nobody was injured. Nobody was flustered. But again, the apologies came back, and then finally, this guy apologized to his mother immediately. He went to see his mother immediately. We had this conversation. Went to his mother, apologized, and I think he finished first in the 3. So and he did very well. So congratulations to Mark. And to me, I couldn't be happier that another person succeeds, or even if he's in front of me.
Success with you. I like that.
For me, my value system is, it's about Christ. So for me, it's about that message. So I had to.
I love that. I love that. I want to share with our audience members and listeners the importance that you're sharing, because you know your stuff. Again, this 3 out of the whole world, call it 8 billion people in the world. 1% of 8 billion is 80 million. So you're like 0.0000001% of the population that completed this. And what I hear and what you shared is that resilience isn't built during the storm. It's built long before it shows up. And that naturally leads to something you're passionate about, preparing for what comes after the spotlight fades. You talked about it. Set values before goals. You've said high performance without preparation for life after athletics is dangerous. From your experience in the military and biomedical engineering, what systems should athletes be building right now so they don't face an identity crisis when the uniform comes off?
Okay, so I'll first set your value before your goals. I'll say it again in a different way, because many people set their goals and then they try to achieve that goal and then lose themselves in the process. But you can find yourself even by having these lofty goals. The second part would be the swim, because you need to control the the basics. If you don't control the basics, so if you have your values, then you have the swim part, which is the basics. Then I would go, because I'm talking
And
to
I want to
athletes,
reiterate again, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's swim is sleep, water, intake, movement.
correct.
Okay.
And based on what you're correct, exactly. If you're an elite athlete, I know you're going to be sleeping less. If you're an elite performer, we had
kind of your standards, depending upon your standards.
Exactly. I coached professional athletes. I coached elite operators in the military, and those special forces guys. I understand that during their training or during their operations, they're going to sleep less. So we have to talk about how to do it and how it integrates after even the uniform, but to be thinking about this, you need to be in the zone when you're working out. So that's why basic, if you're trying your best to control anything, those 4 things is the most crucial part, because that's what you can control.
Yeah.
Then you're going into another, because I'm talking to athletes and they would understand a bit more and they would want a bit more meat, I would guess, in the in their podcast, is I would go with the acronym BRAIN.
Brain?
BRAIN.
Okay.
Okay. So, and that's because I'm talking to athletes. So, because we're going into a little bit deeper. So, the first one, the B, is for blood chemistry stability.
Blood chemistry stability. Got it.
So, you talked about pizza earlier.
Yeah.
That's a huge glucose swing. What about your hydration? We talked about water earlier, and yes, it ties with the swim part. Your hydration. We always talk about electrolytes and you can take electrolyte, but what about the water? What about the type of water that you take? There are several types of water.
Yeah, and I bought some pH balance 6 or 7 at one of the Trader Joe's. I bought it at Trader Joe's, and it costs like $20 for just 10 bottles. Expensive.
Circle back to your gut problem. pH 6 might be your cause. Okay, so
really? Okay.
We'll talk about
yeah.
Yes, we have a machine here at the center, and it goes up to 11, and then we can. So if I take 9, even during a meal, I know for sure that within a meal, if I have a client comes here, takes a 9, you're going to the bathroom within the meal.
Oh, wow.
You won't even wait
right away. Okay.
So, we'll talk about it more. So we talked about electrolytes. So blood chemistry stability. Is very important. Okay. So we're going in more depth than the swim, because I'm talking to athletes. So, and then inflammation. Okay. So we're talking about how your body is reacting. So it depends on.
That's not what. So R, you didn't talk about R in brain.
No, I'm still with the blood chemistry.
Oh, that's still blood chemistry. Okay, just inflammation. How the blood chemistry impacts the inflammation. Got it. Okay.
Exactly, because the blood would create some inflammation, and that's why an athlete, we would recommend to take certain supplements, such as beetroot, which would increase the nitric oxide. So then you would have flow.
It's funny you say beetroot. I just bought some beetroots at Trader Joe's, and I keep it in the fridge. Oh man, you're giving me the prescription already.
Exactly. I'll send you the bill for the treatment. So, there are all sorts of supplements. I'm not selling supplements. I have no brand of supplements. There's no sales, but so we're still talking about the blood chemistry. If you're not able to, for example, if you're not controlling your blood chemistry, yes, here at the center we can control it to a higher degree. So we have meters that we can put on people to test the blood glucose. We've seen this in an increase for athletes, where they put this in the back of their arm or around their tricep area.
Yeah.
We see blood glucose monitor. We're looking at testing for blood. So we do partner with a lab, and then we can test the blood of our clients as well. We're not testing it live, but we're testing it in a lab.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're, But then again, that's at a higher level. If you really want to know exactly how your body function, the blood, very important. And if you want, you can look at the ABC in first aid. The C is circulation, so it's very, very important. If someone bleeds and you're in a first aid situation, one of the first thing is control the bleeding, and then after address everything else.
Got it. Yep.
So if it's a major bleeding, so that's the B part.
Okay.
The R which stands for recovery windows.
Recovery. Okay, got it.
So again, we're going back to sleep, and they did
rest. Yes.
There's tons of studies out there, and they all say the exact same thing. If there is one thing that you must work on, is your sleep. It's the most important and crucial part. And
so as part of sleep, JD, a part of sleep, are naps good or bad for you? I've heard good things, bad things. Naps during the day, good or bad?
It depends on the time and depends of the quality of your sleep. So time meaning length and time of the day. If all of a sudden you say, well, I'm going to have it at 8 o'clock at night and I'm going to bed at 9:30, you're having a 10-minute nap before bed, stretch it out, go to 9:30 to bed, or even try to go early and wake up early. If you're, and then the length of it. Okay. I advise people to take, for different type of people, you would have, so if you are a student and you are looking to stress your systems, so for example, you're going to go into the military, you're going into a stressful environment and you need to be stressing, then and you can take that stress, then I would take irregular ones. So 13 minutes, 12 minutes, 18 minutes, but not to pass 20. Okay.
Yeah.
But those are irregular, like 17 minutes, and they're sporadic.
Okay.
Because you're going to go into the military, or you're going to go into these types of jobs.
Sure.
If you want structure and you are a structured person, you have a schedule, the nap, I recommend with 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Okay.
So it's a structure, it's 10 minutes. Your brain knows it's 10 minutes. I am sleeping for 10 minutes.
Time to relax. Yeah.
Exactly. So time to relax. Your brain knows about it. And I had a client, every day he puts his kid to sleep. They're young kids. And when he goes to sleep with the kids, he goes to sleep. The kids knows exactly at 1 o'clock, I am going to bed. And then for them, he just lets them sleep. For me, my kid does not sleep during the day. Usually I haven't seen him sleep during the day, but he sleeps 12 hours. So for
that's
him,
a lot.
Yeah. And I've had medical professionals and people telling me 12 hours is way too much, or you shouldn't allow your kid to sleep. And I said, he's a child. That's the most important part of his day. And I know exactly when he will react. I know everything about my kid because I test him on many, many levels.
Sure.
Kind of dad. But his sleep, if he sleeps 10 hours, he wakes up at the 10-hour mark, I know the day is going to be a bit chaotic. Or
Okay. So you know exactly the outcome. Okay. What about AINN? What does that stand for?
So A is for attention allocation.
Attention. Got it.
The amount of people. Okay. And I'll share it because we have a philanthropic side of the Hungry Warrior Academy. The philanthropic side of Hungry Warrior Academy, right now we have a partnership with or collaboration with the UN and the Kenyan government.
Okay.
I went to Kenya last year, and in small rural villages that don't have cell phones, I have not seen one case of ADHD. Now, I'm not saying, not a doctor, I'm not saying that this is the cure. I'm not not claiming anything. All I'm saying is facts. Facts are, I went to Kenya and I did not witness one child. And we're talking, there's so many kids there. We fed thousands of orphans and widows, and you can Google everything that we did and look at all of the things. And if you want to hear more about it, you can contact the Hungry Warrior Academy.
And that's hungrywarrior.com.
Yeah. HungryWarriorAcademy.com for sure.
Oh,
Yeah. And you can have a free
HungryWarriorAcademy.com.
session with me
Okay.
or one of the coaches. And
Okay.
then we have coaches. We have runners, like elite runners that run like 2:12 their marathon. We have
Okay.
the Kenyan runners. We have
and you've trained the Kenyan Olympic team as well.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. The triathlon Olympic team. Yeah, in Kenya. Yeah. And so I'm very blessed about that. I went there, and there's no ADHD, no cases of ADHD.
Explain that, because of why?
Well, I can't say why, because again, but all I can say is they don't have cell phones.
They don't have it. Okay. What do you think why? Or what do you think the data shows? Or, not being from a medical perspective, but why? Is it mindset? Is it the sun? Is it the time they spend out? Is it the rest? Why?
So I can make several claims that what I will do is share my views on it.
Sure.
Based on the A, which is attention allocation. So my view is, and that's what I witnessed. I saw a lot of kids, they don't have cell phones. They talk to people. They spend their time under the sun. They wake up when the sun rises. They go to bed when it's dark, and they interact with one another. If I want to speak with you, I will either they call each other on someone else's cell phone, because not a lot of people, well, there are some people that don't even have cell phones in the rural areas, but they talk to one another. So then again, you have that oxytocin bond. So now they have other problems, because, and which proves the point. They very often, they get the proper sleep. They don't have the proper water. They don't have the proper intake, because macros, I'll put whatever food I can find. So, so they don't have the water and all of the pH water that we have, and all the filtered water, and they don't have that. For them, they're going to take whatever they can, and somehow they are doing much better in terms of their attention allocation. So they're able to focus on a conversation.
Got it.
They don't have to use AI for a conversation. Now, AI has its place. I love artificial intelligence. I deal with it every day. But having a conversation with a human being on a specific topic without using artificial intelligence or without using any form of other device, which that's what we're doing now, is way more valuable to a person. I would, and I tell that to my clients sometimes. How about when's the last time you had a conversation with your kids at the table? No phones, no nothing, well, no TV,
just
no distraction. Talking. And again, sometimes we don't think about it. We have a podcast and we have 5 screens on the side. My phone right now is turned off. Why? Because my attention is with Coach
You're being present. You are in the present.
Correct. I am thinking about this interview. I prepared for this interview. I'm looking forward to this interview. And again, you're secreting the right type of hormone. You're having a more balanced lifestyle in a natural way. So
for sure.
Attention allocation. How many times are we having a conversation with someone? But look, I'm on the phone. I'll be with you. I'm with you. Right? So there are a lot. In Quebec, they banned cell phones in schools, because it's your attention. So where is your attention? And so one exercise that I would advise people to do at home, even for kids, it works for anyone, is note down, not just on your cell phone, your well-being. Okay, that's for Android users. I don't know what it is for. Monitor not just your screen time. Many people, me practitioner or many therapists, they would just monitor the screen time and then just remove that. Monitor where your attention is allocated, and you might find that it's in the wrong. It's in the wrong relationships. If you're hanging out with the wrong people, you can be on your phone just 15 minutes per week, but you're hanging out with the right crowd or the wrong crowd. If you're not hanging out with the right people,
your tribe is important for sure.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it.
So again, attention allocation. What's your cognitive bandwidth? Right. We only have 100% of energy. And if all of a sudden you did not sleep well, so you don't have the recovery, your blood glucose is through the roof. So again, your energy
Everything
level.
just compounds. Yeah.
Yes. Now you
Yeah.
get to
Yeah.
the A, your attention is all over the place and
Okay.
you're not able to function well. You're going to fix a lot of your issues if all you do is just that. If you
Yeah.
do
So
just
what is I
exercise
and N? Explain the I and N part.
The I and N, I'm going to go back to inflammation. So yes, I did talk
Inflammation.
about blood.
Okay.
I would be inflammation, or I could
Inflammation.
say input load.
Input overload?
Input load or input
Or
overload.
input load. Okay.
In essence, you're right. You're right, Coach Randy. Are you overloading your system? So it's about food, stress, screens, noise, even information overload. This device is phenomenal. I love it. But how many times, and even AI, you ask for the AI, you say, tell me yes or no if blank. And then he gives you 3-5 pages of content. And then you have to read all of this, comprehend all of this. It's a beautiful tool. But if you have too much information, you have an overload, which creates an inflammation in the system somewhere. So there is the inflammation of blood, which is the most important one because it's at the top. It's part of the ABC. But if all of a sudden you're having a different type of overload, which is, there are some people, I had a client, every time he would watch a movie, he would go on YouTube shorts, just watch. So it has nothing to do with the inflammation of the blood. But every time he's watching his phone, he's like this. Well, first he was like this. Okay. Then we told him, okay, well, first you have to go with the circulation of the blood. So first, position yourself well, and then look at your phone. So if you're looking at your phone, now at least your body is circulating well. So there's the circulation. So we're focusing on that. But if all of a sudden you're watching your phone, you're in a good posture and you're watching it and you can't breathe and you just stop yourself from breathing because you're watching these types of, so it creates a different type of inflammation. Now, again, we're talking about stress, food, an overload of stress. You create a different type of inflammation, which in the naturopathic field correlates to eventually, after a certain inflammation is caused, to certain types of cancer. So certain causation of these
because of too much stress
can eventually become cancers.
Wow.
So people have to, well, if you want them in good health, that's what I would recommend with the I is look at the inflammation. Look at the input load. Is it an overload?
Input
and
load.
Maybe we're talking about an underload. There are athletes like gymnasts, people who even triathletes. I've seen it with triathletes, cyclists. You see it a lot because they need to have, it's watt per kilogram when you're looking at a cyclist. So they try to increase these watts, but if kilogram is at the bottom, you need it as low as possible. So you want to decrease your weight.
Yeah.
So if you're not eating enough, then again it becomes a stressor to your body because you're not eating enough. So you need to have the right type of fuel in your system, and you can't be an underload or overload. That's why I put it as load, not as overload, because it can
be underload as well. Okay. Correct. And close with N. What does N stand for?
Nervous system.
Nervous system. Okay.
Nervous system. Yes. So nervous system regulation. So I talked about breathing. We're talking breathing, movement, cold exposure even could help, or hot exposure, depending
cold hot treatment. Okay.
Depending on what you're looking for. And stress modulation, and that can all be done with sometimes a simple session. So if people just go to Hungry Warrior Academy, they book a session, we can analyze all of their data. They don't have to pick us as coaches. We want the best, and we want people that are going to be able to perform. And right now we have 100% in achieving in goal achievement. So if people want to achieve their goal, want to reach the next performance, they book a session. If it's not the right fit, go ahead.
Yeah. Speaking of goals, JD, I got to show you this device that I made. I'll share it with you as well. It's a goal tracker. There's basically personal goals, mindset goals, athletic goals, academic goals. You write it in, and when you hit it, you click it. There's a click. I don't know if you can hear it.
Yeah.
There's a button there. So psychologically, it shows you not only are you tracking goals, but you're hitting them as well. JD, during your I got two more questions for you. During the EpicDeca, we had a lot of great conversation. During the EpicDeca, there had to be moments where your body said stop, right? What psychological shift allowed you to override that voice? And how can athletes train their nervous system and mindset to respond instead of reacting under pressure? How do you get through that, right? I mean, your body is probably telling you stop multiple times. How do you keep going?
You go back to your values. You go back to your value system.
Mm.
And many coaches would go with, what's your why?
Okay.
What's your why? And my why is, well, if God put me into this position, because I was not supposed to be the one racing. I was not at all. It was not even me that was registered. It was a doctor, surgeon from New York that was registered. And he got hit by a car the November before of that race. And he posted on Facebook, he said, I can't do the EpicDeca, and I'm just going to, because he was injured. He could not walk. He had to learn how to walk again. He's doing fine now. He's doing races, but it only happened, the EpicDeca was that year. So I called my coach and I said, I want to do it. And so when I got into the EpicDeca, yeah, my mind told me, it was, for me, it was day 5. Day 5, I called my coach, and he said, just take it. He did a lot of other races too. And he said, I did multi-day race, and what I did was take it one day at a time. So I started taking it one piece at a time. So I would finish the swim and really take it in. So if you look online at all the times, because it's on USAT, it was monitored by United States America Triathlon.
Okay,
and all the data is there. And it shows my transition between the swim and the bike is like an hour. I'm taking an hour at this transition. And that's because I understood that at that moment I needed to refocus, to change my mindset to now I'm on the bike. Now I'm going on the bike.
Switch gears. Yeah.
On the next 5 days, 3 days, 4 days. I'm not counting this. I'm counting this is the bike. This is what I need to do. I'm playing basketball. I'm in the first inning or quarter. I don't watch basketball, but the first part of the game, I'm focusing on basketball. But I see basketball in the background of your podcast. So I'm focused on this. That's it. For me, it was, this is the period I am in. I am in the swim. I will focus on the swim. I don't focus on anything else, any external stressors or anything else. My son is completely outside of this. That's it. I want to please, and that comes down to Christianity and values. I want to please God. That's it. So if you want to please God, well, you're not going to go to that type of party. You're not going to take your keys and start driving because you're having one beer. Why? Because you should not indulge in, or you should not be doing these types of behavior as a Christian. So these are value system immediately, and that's how I did it when it was very difficult for me.
Perfect. So to close, JD, I want to give you the floor. We covered a lot of insights. You dropped gems, gold gems. I want to ask you, is there anything you want to share with our listeners, our audience members, related to anything you've already covered, your programs, the Hungry Warrior Academy, anything you want to share? I want to give you the mic and share anything with our audience members.
I picked value system. I talk about me being a Christian. I highly advise people to pick a set of values. Now, it might be Buddhism or Islam or other parts. Please question it.
Curiosity.
And that's why it's Hungry Warrior Academy. Be that hungry warrior. Try to acquire that knowledge. Question your pastors. Question your priests. Question all. I chose Christianity. Okay, I think Jesus is the answer. I believe Jesus is the answer. To other people, they might go with it. question your faith. I question my faith. Why? Because I want to know that I want to have the answers when people ask for the right questions, and then I match my value, and my actions will drive those actions. I do believe in Jesus Christ. I do believe in it. But if other people are choosing other religions, other set of values, that's up to them. I treat people in all sorts of faith. I just decide that for myself, this is Jesus Christ. So this is for sure the message that I want to share with people is pick your value system, question it, and question these people. I have an Olympic athlete that now and I asked him the question. I said, "Are you a Christian?" And he hesitated, and he said, "Yeah, my parents are Catholic." And I said, "You must be certain. You must be certain. That's it.
Yeah.
Ask the question."
Yes or no.
And now his parents got back into the church, and now he's more involved into it, because he's not just looking at the Olympics. Now he's looking at like a relationship, not just with God, but with his family. And we're working through this whole system. So we're looking for 2028 as a benchmark, and we're excited for it. So and please reach out. You got a free session. And I love to give things. So please, if people want to reach out, they'll get some free things for sure. I have a lot of free resources that I can give to people if they book a call with me.
HungryWarriorAcademy.com. Okay.
They don't need to be our client. They don't need to be working with us. I love talking to people and making sure that they reach their full potential and their peak performance. And I want to work with the right client, the client that wants to optimize their performance and reach that level that I started with nothing, and now I'm doing very well. So I'm excited that God is doing all of this in my life. So thank you for having me.
Thanks for sharing that. JD, I appreciate you, not just for the achievement, but for the perspective. Family, that was a masterclass. 10 Ironmans in 10 days. Impressive. But the bigger lesson, identity must be built beyond performance, value before goals. JD reminded us that discipline is transferable. Structure is protection. Preparation is power. The swim, the brain, right? Understand those acronyms. If you did start building your life beyond sport today, imagine the confidence you'd carry into every arena. Athletes, don't wait until it's over to figure out who you are. Parents, preparation is love in action. Coaches, systems create sustainability. JD, your leadership and clarity are exactly what Built Different represents. Family, if this episode challenged you, share it. Because conversations like this don't just inspire, they equip. If you're serious about development, not just exposure, visit athleticconnect.com. Apply to be on the Built Different Studio Podcast. Don't forget HungerWarriorAcademy.com. Okay, I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast. Handle today with intention. That's how champions are built. We'll see you next time. Go win the day. JD, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
Remember this, family. Talent might open the door, but your mindset, your habits, and your discipline decide how far you go. So keep showing up, keep building, and keep choosing the harder road, because that's the one that makes you built different. I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast.